Once again, beautiful Monday, and I am glad to be here with you. I'll take you throughout the week to ensure that you are updated, you're entertained, you are informed. My name is Linda Alela, and the program is Morning Cafe. It's always a pleasure to do this with you every other day of the week. And remember, we have lots and lots of stuff outlined for you, so you need to keep it right here from now all the way to 9 a.m. As always, on Mondays, we take a look at matters health. So today we'll be taking a look at your skin. It is going to be an incredible session later on at 8 all the way to 9. So you need to keep it right here. You get to know what you can do to ensure that you have that face glowing. Ladies out there, you can hear me. And we always say it's not a matter of ladies anymore. I mean, it cuts across. Every other person wants to look good. So that is indeed a special edition for you. But before that, we take a look at what you expect for the day. Importantly, we discuss the state of the nation. We have a raft of issues that we'll be looking at alongside my panelists. So keep it right here. I'll be updating you accordingly. What's important is that you're part and parcel of this conversation. Hashtag Morning Cafe at Linda_Alela at TV47KE. We always are thankful that you choose TV47, the home of untold stories. Now let's kickstart, and you know what to expect. We first of all take a look at what is on the papers this morning, a sneak preview of the same. This is the People Daily. Chickens come home to roost for ex-Lands boss Gashanja. And powerful Moi era official has been shuttling from one courtroom to another, defending himself against accusations of aiding public land grabbing. That is a story captured on page 6. The saga is on amongst a raft of other corruption cases that have been ongoing. The land tussle in the country for the longest of time. Away from that, fresh clash over signature budget. This after IEBC last week received the signatures from the secretariat, that is the BBI secretariat, and they argued that they can only start the process upon disbursement of funds in regards to the same. And the Electoral Commission has requested for about 241 million shillings for verification, but the BBI secretariat bosses say that this amount is exaggerated, as the process can be completed with just a few millions. Just what is just a few millions is one of the things that we'll be looking at this morning. Page 4 captured the same. That is Wafula Chebukati, as you can see, at Dennis Waweru, who's top at the secretariat. And not forgetting the Msambweni by-elections that are coming or are slated for the 15th, alongside other by-elections in the country, including that one of, this sides of Kahawa Wendani. Yes, there's going to be a by-election on the same. That Msambweni candidates in last-minute pitch for votes. Most of the people have argued that this is, a race that is being looked at as a race between Baba and a race between the DP, especially on matters BBI and also 2022 politics. As you can see right there, we'll be looking at that. We have Marian on standby to always follow up on the same. No end in sight for patients' pain as medics strike continue. And the strike is on. The medical sector or the health sector continues to struggle, even as the president said that so much so is going to be done towards dealing with the menace and fixing this at large. And so that is more like it on what you expect on the papers this morning. Let's take a look at what is on the Daily Nation. And yes, as we proceed to take a look at the same, the front page of the Daily Nation, Uhuru faces big test over pay rise for civil servants. And that is what we're trying to get a hold of. Well, that is People Daily. And Maraga faulted decision to transfer all functions to Mwilu sparks controversy. That is a story captured on page 10 as the judiciary, or as the CJ officially exited. Remember, he proceeded to on leave, and come January, he will have exited the stage. So it looks like, it's an official move to see to him that is out, or to see to it that is out. We'll be taking a look at that later on with my panelists. Millionaire's tale, CCTV footage does not show thicker traders kidnapped. That is a story that we've been taking up on for quite a while now, on this prominent business person in Thika having disappeared. And of course, a follow-up on the same continues. We'll update you accordingly. Referendum, MPs demand funds. Members of Parliament allied to President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga party that is now want Treasury to release funds for the verification of BBI signatures without parliamentary approval. That is a story that is captured on page 5. And the Sonko trouble is on. Political intrigue in Sonko Oyster plan. A power struggle has ensued in the Senate over the push to impeach Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko ahead of his week's plenary trial. And we wait to see what this week's plenary trial will bring on board. Sonko is confident that Senate is going to save him. We wait to see what will take part in that. Watch out for this black sport. And at this point of the festive season, we always know that having a conversation about road safety is crucial. And now you're being told to be careful on the road and touching on the black spots in the countryside as of now. Nakuru, Kisumu, Machakos, Makueni, Kiambu, and Mombasa, they've given you certain roads that you need to stay walk alongside or on when you are traveling different parts of the country. It is important that you're keen. We'll also be having editions where we speak about road safety on Morning Cafe and also on our sessions right here on TV47. So please watch out on the same. You get tips that are going to be helpful for you. And it's a tough choice between the economy and politics for President Uhuru Kenyatta as he faces big test of a pay rise for civil servants to yield or not to. A pay increase for teachers and state workers will further drain government and finances. That was the finances that we have as of now, which are already distressed by a rising debt burden and plunging revenues due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the president could be forced to honor the deal to win support for the Building Bridges initiative. That's an interesting one right there. Be looking at these ones later on with my panelists. And just briefly to take a look at what you expect today, that is on Daily Diary. If we can have that, Madam Director, then we get to know what it is that we are set to see this morning. So much is happening. Yes, here we are, and the Daily Diary is with us this morning. What do you expect for the day? Wangu Kaja Foundation and Gender Province Center are meeting today to share data collected on increased cases of gender-based violence on both the male and female, and this is something that needs to be addressed. President Uhuru Kenyatta is also set to meet with the president of Somaliland, Musa Bihi Abdi, on mutual interests. Those are the key stories or the key things that we expect to happen today. And also the Ministry of Wildlife and Tourism led by CS Najib Balala will today launch the Mawingu Mount Bongo Sanctuary. And of course, we'll be giving you details on that particular launch and what the sanctuary will be instrumental about. Those are the key three things that we have information about as of now. And of course, that then is to mean you need not to worry because my editorial team is on ground in search of those stories that you'd want to know about. Also importantly, what is happening on the roads this morning? Let's briefly have a look at what is there. Not so much of traffic just yet. A beautiful Monday morning or so to speak. It is not raining, it is calm, it is cool, and that means the roads are not so bad. From where I am, this is Westlands and sides of Parklands. Not so much of it in terms of traffic. It's an ease. The roads are pretty much easy this morning, taking you to different directions where you will take a look at what, of course, you expect. This is Muthaiga Road, this is Tausi Road, this is Mpaka Road, this is within Westlands, Shivaji Road, nothing bad this morning. Ojiji Road is also not so bad this morning. Let's start from this central point and pick it up from here. Take a look at what to expect or what is not so good this morning. Some bit of this direction of Ring Road as you are headed to these sides of Kenya Railways, and as you're headed to get to the CBD somewhere around Moi Avenue, there's some bit of traffic here, some snarl up. Of course, this is because of the roundabout, but then it's moving not so bad this morning. And here we are at a different direction. Also, there's some bit of traffic around here where, of course, there's a Juakali Market and somewhere around Kamukunji. That tells you there's some bit of traffic, but it is pretty much moving this morning. And let's come to this side of Ring Road. and somewhere around there. I always tell you, when you see some bit of red, then you know there's some bit of traffic. So if you're taking these sides of Racecourse Road and these sides of Ring Road is not bad, but somewhere around this roundabout, there's some bit of traffic coming from these sides of Kariakor Market. And right before you get to the sides of the roundabout, somewhere here, Quarry Road, it's a bit of traffic, but then again, it is not badly off. It is clearly moving this morning. And we also take a look at a different direction altogether. This sides of Landis Road. Landis Road is not bad. And coming to these sides of Kaloleni, Lusaka Road this morning, here we are, Lusaka Road. As you headed to this bit of the roundabout and coming to this point, there's some bit of traffic somewhere down here around Nairobi City Stadium, but it is also moving, so it is not badly off. And let's take a different direction and see what to expect on these sides of Mombasa Road. Mombasa Road is quite an ease this morning, unless some bit somewhere around Imara Daima, somewhere here is where you can get some bit of traffic, but it is not badly off. Also moving, that takes you of course to this direction, that is towards headed to those sides, not coming to town. It is not so bad, but a bit of movement that you would probably be scared about. This is where it is, some bit of snarl up, but it is not as bad as as heavy traffic as you'd expect. This sides of Embakasi, and as you can see somewhere there, this is Airport Road. It's a bit of an ease, but somewhere at the T junction, you get some bit of traffic snarl up. I guess it's because of the junction, but then again, it is equally moving very well this morning. This takes us to that side of the Eastern Bypass. The Eastern Bypass is pretty much of an ease this morning, so you need not to worry about that. Let's take a look at a different direction, and we see what is there. From the central point, Ngong Road. Here we are at Ngong Road. As you can see, Ngong Road is not badly off this morning also. As you head to these directions where, there is Agung's Kodeng Road, there's Ring Road, Kilimani, there's Valley Road, there's State House Road somewhere around here, not so bad. On this other side, you can see right on the top, the East Kipande Road is also not so bad. And Muranga Road, I'm just tracking a clear view of the same, is equally not so bad. Like I said, on this side of Kikomba Market, Landis Road is where you get some bit of traffic, but this morning it is moving. This is Muranga Road. Muranga Road is not badly off also this morning. So that tells you, well, there's really no cause for alarm on the roads this morning. This is Juja Road, pretty much of an ease away and to town, and Muthaiga Road is here. Also this morning, not so bad. It's pretty much clear, so you need not to worry. I got you covered in the event that there is something that you'd probably need to know. I'll be here to update you. This is Kiambu Road. Kiambu Road is pretty much of an ease also, as you can see right there. So there's really not so much that is happening on the roads that would probably get you worried. And of course, in the event that there's anything that will come our way, I'll certainly be here to update you. Thika Road is also not so bad this morning. So Outer Ring also not as bad. This is a bit of Jogo Road where, of course, traffic is moving. This is Outer Ring Road. You can see it is not bad this morning. And then this is Kangundo Road. So yes, here we go. And I think I'll drop out on the aspect of taking you through what is on the roads as we cross over to a different conversation altogether. Let's first of all take a look at the news stories of the day. So much happening in the world of news, and what it is that my team has captured. The Kenya University Staff Union claims that the cause of financial constraints in the institutions of higher learning is massive corruption and mismanagement of university resources. The union is accusing the Vice Chancellor of Kisii University of gross misappropriation of funds, and now it wants the government to suspend him as well as institute a special financial audit on the university. Sharon Buranga has the details.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
For the past 1 week, the staff in universities have not been at peace. This is after they learned that the Vice Chancellor's Committee had recommended that the institutions of higher learning should trim their workforce so as to enable universities to fully recover from the financial effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. But the Kenya University Staff Union claims corruption and poor leadership is what is ailing the institutions.
Matatizo ambayo yanakumba vyuo vikuu nchini Kenya si matatizo ya wafanyikazi. Ati wingi wa wafanyikazi kama jinsi inavyotolewa katika mijadala tofauti na watu kujiliwaza ati wana suluhisho, ati kuengua wafanyikazi ndio suluhisho lao. Vyuo vikuu leo vinaathirika kwa sababu ya matatizo ya ufisadi. Na mafisadi hawa wapo. Na wengine tumewapeleka serikalini kwenda kuwashtaki kwa vyombo ambavyo vinahusika. Serikali ifuatilie vyuo vikuu vinadorora kwa sababu ya uongozi mbaya.
The University Staff Union accused the Vice Chancellor of Kisii University of misappropriation of funds.
The information available indicates that Kisii University alone has pilfered more than 66 million shillings, and the larger part of this money has allegedly been used for students' field supervision and teaching practice during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. You know, one wonders, during the lockdown, which schools were operating? Which students were on field attachment and teaching practice to be supervised?
Akama naye pia naye ametoka ameenda kwa serikali amesema kwamba chuo kikuu kuna matatizo ya kifedha. Suluhisho waengue wafanyikazi. Yana kama akamue chuo kikuu cha Kisii, maziwa anywe yeye mwenyewe, halafu atakapata matatizo awe ni mfanyikazi ambaye hakushiriki katika kazi hiyo.
They now want staff at the university to be paid their salaries, the government to suspend the Vice Chancellor, as well as institute a special financial audit on the university.
The Vice Chancellor of Kisii University, Professor John Akama, PhD, has even gone ahead and violated a court order that had given conservatory orders on all employees purported to have been declared redundant, and therefore refusing to pay them their salaries. This blatant contempt of court orders, arrogance and impunity must stop.
Last week, the Vice Chancellor's Committee came up with a number of recommendations that will enable the institutions of higher learning recover financially from the pangs caused by COVID-19. Apart from reduction of workforce, the committee also proposed an increase in students' fees from 16,000 shillings per year to 48,000 shillings per year, and help loans be increased accordingly to support needy students. This was met by a backlash from students. Other measures proposed to help universities cut their spending are negotiation of contracts with suppliers, extended payment plans, and increased efficiency and effectiveness in the use of facilities and staff. Sharon Baranga, TV47.
To politics, ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi has called on leaders to have a stand on the ongoing Building Bridges initiative. Meanwhile, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has been urged to avoid using lack of funds as an excuse in verifying the BBI signatures.
ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi called on political leaders to have a firm stand on the BBI report. His sentiments coming amidst mixed signals from Deputy President William Ruto on the BBI report.
The document as it was then is not a document that can stand the test of time. Watu wakasema Musalia, oh, you have been this, they want to brand you this, I stood my ground. I stood my ground. And the document that came out, the one that I was now putting a signature to at KICC, was now an amended document.
Nairobi County ilikuwa imechukuliwa katika BBI 2. Walisema transfer of functions iwe permanent. Nairobi ikuwe kama department ya serikali ya juu. Nikasema mtu wa Nairobi ako na haki ya kupata devolution kama mtu wa palipopote pengine katika taifa letu.
Meanwhile, leaders drawn from the Luhya community have rallied behind the ANC boss Musalia Mudavadi to run for the top job in 2022.
Na nimerudia nikisema kila mara, His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi atatupatia mwelekeo. Aliposema BBI, tukaweka kidole tukaweka. Hapa Makadara nilikuwa coordinator wa Nairobi. Tukapata over 500 signatures.
Mudavadi spoke while attending a church service at Friends Center in Nairobi's Maringo Estate. Meanwhile, Ugunja Member of Parliament Opiyo Wundanyi has called on the electoral body to hasten the process of signatures verification before the bill goes to the county assemblies.
That task of verifying the signatures should not take more than 1 week. Once they get the money, we don't want any more excuses. We know we have got so many enemies of the BBI. They will try to use every trick in the book to sabotage this process.
Joanne Maina, TV 47.
Now, leaders from Wajir County have met to deliberate on issues of BBI and their demands. The leaders unanimously agreed to support the document, but still push for extra constituencies in counties in northern Kenya. Isadine Haji reports from Wajir.
In a fundraiser meant to support an Islamic school in Tulatula Ward in Wajir County Governor, the 6th Member of Parliament from Wajir, and other dignitaries graced the occasion. Discussions on the BBI and extra slots in the county, especially Wajir South, took center stage.
The people of Wajir South have been shortchanged in representation, and we are not quite happy with that. Let that be taken forward and understood that we will leave no stone unturned to ask for our rights.
In terms of the land, we are 80% of the land mass. In terms of resources, our contribution to the GDP is over 25%, and surely that needs to be recognized.
The 6th Member of Parliament from the county unanimously pledged support for the BBI report, with Wajir South Member of Parliament sending stern message to ODM leader Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Still, Wajir South people are humble. They will support BBI, but they will support BBI more if we are considered for another constituency and better representation and better resources.
We expect the leadership of Kenya and from all levels to work together and support one document unanimously agreed.
Elders Member of Parliament Adan Kainan led the MPs in ensuring Northern Kenya residents that they are safe with the document that is believed to unify the country.
Na Mheshimiwa Prime Minister Uhuru na viongozi wa Kenya, sisi tunawalilia, tunataka Wajir ipatiwe kitu kingine, na sisi tukiwa viongozi tumesha decide hiyo kitu tukipata yende Wajir South.
As the people of Wajir County, we strongly support the BBI. That notwithstanding, we request 1 seat for Wajir County.
As pull and push to correct faults in the document text stall, politicians from the region have been asked to uphold uniting politics rather than abusive confrontation.
Siku hizi nimeona kwa media mnatukanana sana. Hiyo ni aibu sana. MPs wanatakikana wasikilizane, waongee vizuri, lakini kama wako na shida kwa katikati yao, wanamaliza ndani yao.
Si kutusi, si kusimama kwa barabara na matusi. That will not help you. What will help you is to come together and look for the Wajir South seat.
Leaders from Northern Kenya have demanded for extra constituency in Wajir, Marsabit, Garissa and Isiolo counties each, but believe it is only through consensus that their demand will be considered. As the BBI debate heightens within pastoral communities in northern Kenya, electors have been urged to support the document, which is in advanced stage, while pushing for extra constituencies, which are yet to be achieved. Isadine Haji, TV47, Wajir County.
Preparations are on top gear for the Msambweni by-elections slated for Tuesday this week. And as residents of the constituency prepare for the by-election, community-based organization in Kwale County have urged residents in Ukunda area to vote peacefully. Fatma Ngwena reports from Kwale.
The Msambweni by-election campaign came to an end with the mini polls set for Tuesday 15th December, with squabbling politics between various politicians causing divisions in the constituency. Community-based organizations from Kwale County have urged residents in Ukunda not to perpetuate hatred between them due to their political differences.
Wanasiasa wanaopigania wajue kwamba wasifanye siasa za vita wala siasa za kumwaga damu.
Human Rights Agenda Coordinator Mwinyihaji Chamosi has called upon the government to closely monitor the use of social media, which has been fueling political hate speech between two main candidates, Omar Boga of ODM and Faisal Abdullah Bader, who is an independent candidate but hugely supported by DP Ruto allies.
Msambweni na Kwale kwa jumla waweze kumaintain amani wakati huu ambao tuelekea kwa uchaguzi.
According to Nehemiah Bitok, Msambweni Sub-County Police Commander, police officers in the area have been put in place to ensure that there is enough security during the elections.
Panga na deploy officers adequately ya kutoshea, na message yangu kwa watu ya public is that wakuje wapike kura na waende nyumbani wangoje matokeo.
The IEBC officials have already trained observers for elections and have received some of the materials that will be used during the elections. Fatma Ngwena, TV47, Kwale County.
Well, reports of pregnancies among underage children in the country are still on the rise, and despite such reports being convened to the relevant authorities, the matter ceases with them. A good example is of Kilifi County, where at least 10 such cases have not been attended to, with these suspects still walking scot-free.
Nilishikana na kijana mwaka wa 2017 kufika mwaka wa 2018 kashika ujauzito.
This is one instance of children still in their school-going age who were impregnated by young men their age or maybe even older and were left with no choice but to raise their children without attaining justice. It is in Kaloleni Sub-County in Kilifi County where Rotuba Kahindi, a standard 8 pupil, is carrying the burden of raising a child while still in school after being impregnated by a boda rider in Mikiriani village. Kahindi, the 7th born in a family of 8, is yet to come to terms with the reality of being a mother and a student at the same time. She reveals that she reported the matter to Kizurini police station and went to Mariakani to fill a medical P3 form with hopes of having her perpetrator arrested. But to date, he is still walking in the streets of Mikiriani.
Mpaka sahi. Mimi wakati mwingine huwa nimetumwa kule na ganda, huwa nikimwona ananiputa mbio alafu anaongea na wenzake alafu anaanza kunirusha mikono.
And now Kahindi has been forced to develop a routine to attend to house chores, bring up her child and keep up with her studies simultaneously.
Nikirudi nyumbani ni kuangalia mtoto, awe ameoga, nguo zake amevaa safi. Kwani asubuhi si mhudumii, manake anahudumiwa na mamangu, na mhudumie kiwa ni jioni.
On her part, Kahindi's mother is bitter since she has been forced to dig deep into her pockets to cater for the needs of her grandson, needs that up to date have resulted to deaths.
Kaka na mtoto wangu hivyo, maziwa nanunua hata dakika hii nadaiwa watu wa maziwa. Nikamwacha hivyo, nikasema nitampatia uji. Kule ambako amefika nitampatia uji.
Fatuma Saro, a volunteer children's officer from Chanagande and a spearheader against sexual gender-based violence, says she reports cases with hopes of being summoned in court to give evidence, but this never happens. And now she has more than 10 registered cases, but all their suspects are walking scot-free.
Wakati mwingi vijana wengi huwa hawashikwi. Kwa sababu unapeleka kesi polisi, unatarajia utaitwa kotini uende utoe ushahidi, hiyo kitu inaachia hapo. Hawashughulikiwi kushikwa wale ambao wameka mimba watoto. Kuna kesi zaidi ya kama 10 niko nazo, na ziko na OB number na nilijaza P3 hizo kesi, na vijana hawajashikwa, wanatembea kwa barabara.
The situation has led to Saro being threatened and living in fear with the suspects walking scot-free.
Sasa hii nimekuwa kama mimi sahi wananitishia maisha. Kwa sababu kama nimejaza P3 nimepeleka, alafu kijana hatashikwa. Wafikiri kijana kikupata kwa barabara atakufanya nini? Kwa hivyo sasa hata mimi maisha yangu yako hatarini.
This saddening situation paints a picture of the current state in different parts of the country of school-going children living as victims of sexual abuse, rape and even early pregnancies without attaining justice, while relevant authorities who are expected to provide solutions sit calm. Nanok Lauren, TV47.
Indeed, we only hope that such can be addressed. Thank you, Nanok Lauren, for that report. It's the very same report that takes us for a short break. We come back with a newspaper as we delve into the discussion after.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys Supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
Is TV47. Happy holidays.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Time for us to take a look at what is on the papers and also delve into the conversations of the day. And joining me for this morning, Dr. Barack Muluka is here with us. Good morning, sir. And we also have the Speaker for Nyeri County, Honorable John Kagusha. Good to have you, sir. As we also wait and look forward to get a hold of Honorable Jeremiah Kioni later on the broadcast as we proceed. We have the Daily Nation, the Standard newspaper, and we have the People Daily as always. We start with the People Daily right here on the screen. Chickens come home to roost. For ex-Lands boss Gashanja, powerful Moi era official, has been shuttling from one courtroom to another, defending himself against accusations of aiding public land grabbing. This is a story that is captured on page 6 of the People Daily as we try and get a hold of the same. Here we are. It's a conversation that has been ongoing, and well, this alongside a raft of other graft cases in the country. I do not know just how possible it is for us to get answers in regards to this, but I'd love for my panelists to also weigh in their sentiments. And land grabbing is an issue that bedevils us as a country, continues to do that. And sad to speak is that some of these land grabbers really always move out scot-free. There's nothing much that comes out of these investigations. Do you suppose that indeed it is the end, or the end is nigh for Kagusha?
I think we still have challenges in this area.
Yeah.
We have the Dungu report that we should be implementing. And Gachanja is just one of the players in the bigger scheme of things. As we know that a lot of Kenyans have, and so to say, senior Kenyans who have held political offices where they had very serious influence and sway on matters land.
Yeah.
They have grabbed land over time. And Gachanja is really one of them. And of course, he was very, very notorious. And what would have been expected, really, is to implement the Dungu report. If we implemented the Dungu report with all its recommendations, then we would have handled this issue from a bigger perspective, rather than tokenism, whereby you just following one individual as if that particular individual is the one who would sort out the problems that we have in this country today. So I would advise that if we are serious and we are honest about following matters land, let us look at it in a wholesome manner, rather than more of tokenism, more of personalizing the battle. It's okay for anyone who may have been involved, because at the end of the day, the rubber meets the tarmac, really, at the point of an individual. So it's okay when individuals are followed and when they are pushed to ensure that they pay, but I still am not satisfied with the approach. I think we need to be more grand, we need to be more wholesome in the approach.
Doctor,
Yeah.
so 3 courts have found him guilty of aiding KANU bigwigs and graft barons to steal land in Nairobi, Kilifi, and Kitale. This is just in 1 month. And in one of the cases, judges ordered for repossession of the land in question, and Gachanja was fined 1 million.
I agree with Speaker Kagusha.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with him more. He is spot on. Indeed, the whole story of Kenya is one big story of a land grab.
Yeah.
That from the moment the British arrived in this country in the 1800s, up to this very day that we sit here this morning, people at the very top are stealing land, public land. And that it is indeed true that we need to be talking about a holistic approach, that everyone who has been involved needs to have action taken against them. And it is not just the Ndungu report, there are other reports which have also captured this very sorry state of affairs. The TJRC, it was presented to Parliament. President Uhuru Kenyatta presented it to Parliament in his first State of the Nation address, and we thought that it was going to mark the beginning of the end of these land issues. But we know that it has gathered dust. The first Parliament under President Uhuru Kenyatta lived its life out. His second tenure is about to live its life out. And yes, indeed, when you isolate one individual, you seem to be executing a specific personal vendetta rather than trying to solve the land issue in the country.
Well, countries like Ethiopia and Tanzania and other countries have focused much on ensuring that all land is for the government. And so if you want to use this land, you are, subjected to that aspect of a lease. Do you suppose that would have been a solution for the troubles that we face today?
Not necessarily. There are other countries with different land laws, land tenure systems. And we are aware that in Kenya, we have got one of the widest drafts of land laws. Eventually, we were able to domesticate the land issues in the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
Yeah.
The challenge in our country is not that we do not have good laws. It is that those who are in powerful political positions are unwilling to ensure that the laws are followed, that they are implemented, and one understands very well why, because they also seem to be some of the biggest beneficiaries of the anomalies in land ownership in the country.
Well, all right, so we dropped that one and we are following up on the same to know what direction it will take. And my team will always be here to update you. But away from it, a fresh clash over signature budget. And this is something that we'll be discussing as we look at the BBI, so we might not delve deep at this point of the review of the newspaper. So Cash Fight Electoral Commission has requested for 241 million for verification, but the BBI Secretariat argues that the amount is exaggerated as the process could easily be completed with a few millions. Just what is a few millions?
Interesting, because when you give a huge number of signatures to the electoral body, you'd expect that they also require to verify those signatures, unless maybe you do not want the verification to be done. You know, you could also give the signatures and also say because these ones we collected through certain means and methods, then in that case you can trust that those signatures are okay. Or also, unless you're also fearing that something mischievous might also come out of the verification. Otherwise, I would imagine it is proper and okay for you to give the signatures, especially when you have given such a high number of signatures, then also facilitate the verification and also the process of ensuring that you have a clear way forward in terms of what it is and what was collected. So that then as a country, we comply with the law. And for some of...
Hold it, Mheshimiwa. I am afraid they have to fix your microphone. I'll allow Dr. to come in on the same, and then we take a short break to fix that.
Yes, I'll just pick it up where he left it off. One is talking about undertaking an assignment, and on the one side of the weighing scale is the assignment, on the other side of that weighing scale is the budget. Has the BBI process been costed? Has it been budgeted? As we began embarking on it, as the owners began embarking on it, and some of them are sitting in government. Certainly President Uhuru Kenyatta is in government, and the ODM leader Raila Odinga sometimes behaves like someone who is in a co-presidency with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Did they budget this thing when this gentleman who has unfortunately referred to himself in the House of Parliament as a cow following Raila Odinga like a cow? I'm not the one who said that. Those were his own words.
Yes.
Did it occur to him that there was need for a budget?
For the same.
So that when he says only a few million shillings, how many millions? Has he even budgeted it at this time? And finally, budgets alone are not enough. When you have budgeted, you must identify the source of those funds and be sure, therefore, that you are going to be able to meet that obligation without also upsetting other priorities. Has this been done? Maybe this is the time we need to be told how much this
BBI
process is going to cost the country.
Well, okay, and that we'll be looking at in depth later on as we proceed. We just get to know where the funds will come from, how much is needed in general, because one of the key things that has been looked at as an undoing for the BBI would be on the aspect of costing at a time when the country grapples with a lot of other issues that need to be dealt with. So on that note, let's take a short break and then we come back to expound some more on the same.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket. Maybe this is the end of the road.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Still in studio, Nyeri Speaker, Honorable Kagushia John. We're expecting to get a hold of Honorable Jeremiah Kioni, Member of Parliament Daragwa, who says he's on his way. And we also have Dr. Barak Mulukar in studio. We are looking at the newspapers briefly before we delve into the conversation. Well, more or less the same thing that we'll be discussing as we get into the discussion. And we're still on the People Daily, Msambweni candidates in last-minute pitch for votes. But before we look at that has been captured on page 7, there's this one story that I'm sure we talked about like the entire bit of last week into what that address by President Uhuru Kenyatta during Jamhuri Day. And it seems like, no end is nigh or is in sight, so to speak. And of course, this as patients continue to go through painful moments as the medics are still on strike. And the health sector continues to be bedeviled. I don't know whether we spoke about this last week, but I'd love to hear your take on what is happening right here in the country. We keep saying that so much has been channeled in terms of budgeting towards fixing the health sector, so much energy, the universal healthcare coverage conversation, but we still are not able to get answers of the same. Speaker.
Yeah, we at a very challenging moment at the time.
Yeah.
Because as a country, I looked at the headline that we had on the Jamhuri Day, and it was talking about the big plans that is on Daily Nation. It was talking about the big plans that we have for budgetary allocation to the process of BBI, and also we look at the issue of the queries today by the IEBC, where they're asking for money which the BBI team feels they shouldn't give them. If you look at the kinds of amount that we are mentioning, that process, and then look at where we are with the health system, and look at what is happening. I said again before that ordinarily you would expect that the medics, when they are on the front line of this war against COVID-19 and to save the people, they should ordinarily not be engaging on their welfare issues as much, especially when it comes to the benefit. And they should not be retreating back to go and renegotiate for their salaries at this point when they are actively in war.
Yeah.
But I also asked a question, if they are in this front line and then they run out of bullets, do you expect them to continue fighting with their fists? Or what should they do? So it's a catch-22 position, and we need as a country to address these issues. As much as they're essential service providers and they should not be retreating to go and negotiate for their benefits, we also expect to facilitate them. One of the doctors said that I did not come to this profession. I came to this profession to save lives and not to lose mine. And so you would understand those kind of sentiment coming from the doctors themselves. And so for this reason, I think it will be important to look at these resources that we have as a country and see how much we can be able to save and redirect to handle this issue of doctors, take care of them, ensure that they're properly protected, and then at the same time ensure that we also improve our health system. It's true, the president did say that a lot of improvement or a lot of resources have been committed to the upgrading of the health system in the country. But I also want to ask, out of these resources that have been committed, how much of this has ended up in the right use and upgrading the health system, or how much has also ended up in the pockets of entrepreneurs? So really, these are some of the things that we need to address, because we could be having good intentions, we could be doing the right things at the top, but when they get to the ground, you find that this money is also not being used for the right purposes. So we are in a challenging moment. We have doctors who require to be protected. We have clinical officers who require the insurance for their workers. So this is something that as a country we need to address, and address it very seriously. It's not an issue that we need to be debating about. It's an issue that we just need to,
Just how is that possible at a time when the CS for Matters Health argues that, the demands from the doctors are outrageous and the government might not be able to deal with that? Just how realistic is that? I know when we know very well that these are not new things. These are things that we've been dealing with from time immemorial, and we're still here. And maybe we probably are not doing anything different in regards to seeing to it that we address this. I mean, can we really even bank on anything that is likely to happen in future, Dr. Ari?
The use of the idiom outrageous is itself outrageous. Outrageous in the sense that these medics are not asking for anything new. In fact, they are asking for implementation of things that have already been agreed upon with government. And we agree that the current CS may not have been there when those covenants were being entered, but it is also true that government have successive and residual responsibilities. So whatever was agreed upon during the Mwai Kibaki days, the present government and future ones have got the responsibility to ensure that they implement. And yes, you cannot tell the doctors to be realistic when they do not have PPEs. You are essentially telling them that just go out there and be reasonable and die, because what you're doing is very critical. So just be reasonable and die. You cannot tell anybody to go out and do that. But what is likely to be the end game? I expect that government is going to continue to behave as if nothing is happening. We are in the middle of a crisis. The whole world is. And indeed, elsewhere in the global community, people are focused upon doing something about the COVID-19 pandemic, and they are looking at their health sector. Here we are behaving as if nothing is really happening, and the expectation, I suppose, is that they think the medics, the clinical officers, the nurses and the doctors are going to get exhausted. They'll succumb to natural attrition from, or rather state-driven attrition, and that having no strike funds, they will not be able to sustain the strikes, and they'll go back to work.
And speaking of which, just briefly on that, there's some bit of doublespeak. I don't want to say doublespeak per se, but you find that, well, there are different cadres within the medical, sector, and you realize that some of them are speaking this way, the others are speaking otherwise. At some point in time, sometimes early last week, the doctors, that is KMPDU, also decided that they are going to, go easy on the strike, give the government approximately 14 days to deal with that. But on the other side, the nurses were on strike, and such has been the case. Do you suppose their level of doublespeak and the fact that they do not always go, in one direction could be costing them?
They're going the same direction, Linda. The health sector is one sector that has got to function like a properly serviced and oiled machine. That if and when one part is down, then it doesn't work. The doctors know very well that even as the nurses are on strike, and even as they are nominally going on with the services themselves, really nothing works, because you need the nurses to take care of certain responsibilities. You need the clinical officers in a majority of the facilities around the country. And of course, when the doctors join in, I think now in another 1 week's time, then it will be total paralysis. And woe unto us, poor Kenyans.
Indeed, woe unto us. We can only hope that, as President Uhuru Kenyatta affirmed, that can be addressed. And I do not think we should go with... He did not delve deep into that, but then again said some of the funds that have been channeled towards...
Leave alone delving. He did not even mention
much
the strike. This is the one thing that he needs to be talking about. What do the roads mean to me when I'm sick and dying? What do dams mean to me when I'm sick and dying? The railway line and all that. We must address the basics first. And health being one of the big four, he should have talked about it. The big four was spoken of this time round, almost as if the matrix had shifted. Previously, it was about manufacturing, it was about health, it was about
infrastructure and housing
and food. Suddenly, it was about boda boda. It was about youth and enterprise fund, and which was not tied up to the original Big Four.
Well, at some point, President Uhuru Kenyatta acknowledged that, you know, from the way things are going, there are likelihoods that he might not be able to achieve, you know, his dream of the Big Four before he exits the stage. That acknowledgement probably is what informed him taking a different direction, and he feels like, you know, that boda boda sector and a couple of other sectors that he mentioned would probably be instrumental in making change, at least change, if not change, you know, in the lines of the Big Four agenda, Speaker.
I think the Big Four agenda may have been overcrowded by the BBI, the handshake arrangement, because there seems to be quite a lot of emphasis around the issue of peaceful coexistence once His Excellency the President exits the stage. But to say the issue of health, I think there's a feeling at the presidency level that there have been resources, the resources that have been committed towards the health sector are sufficient to address, or at least they are quite an amount that can be used to address the challenges that we have with the health. And probably what I would want to urge the presidency myself is to do a proper audit of how these funds may have been used across the country. Because to some extent, I feel the president could be right when he says that they have already committed so much resources. But on the other hand, how much of these resources have ended up buying that high flow oxygen equipment? Remember of the MP who was hopping from one hospital to another, desperately gasping for air, looking for a dose of fresh oxygen, high flow oxygen, to save his life. And unfortunately, even after hopping in 2, 3, 4 hospitals, he couldn't be able to find this. Yet, in the same county, colossal amounts of money have been committed towards the same purpose. And when you listen very well, you hear a lot of people say that that particular county is one of the best counties in management of these health resources, or even resources, is one of the counties that can be heralded as a good example of how public funds should be managed. But an MP could not find high flow oxygen in over 4 hospitals where he was hopping.
For the common mwananchi.
That is it. So that tells you, yes, we could be having the notion and the thinking that we have committed sufficient resources, but have we used these resources okay? I know in quite a number of counties, these resources are still yet to be utilized. In others, they were utilized 100%, but in doing what? In getting supplies, and a lot of those supplies were not necessarily the most important supplies that you could get. So that is where we start limping in terms of some of the Big Four agendas. And so the easier one, and the one that seems to be achievable in the short term now, probably would be the issue of the peaceful coexistence, which was not really one of the Big Four agendas, but one of the pillars, and that is now which is being pursued through the BBI.
Well, yes, the peaceful one. He said that is one of the key things that he'd want to leave as a legacy. We'll be looking at that later on. We do not go without mentioning this. Gentlemen must have, been surprised this morning. Plenty of hay in the studio and a lot of grass around. Last week on a Friday, we had country music session. It was pretty much incredible. Little did we know that that would come along with some sad news for the country music lovers. And the singer Charlie Pride, the first black superstar of country music, died on Saturday at the age of 86. Barack, there's a special story behind this?
Yes, of course, again, the COVID thing, I think that's what we were told, complications. But for us who are growing up in the 1960s and 70s, we will greatly miss Charlie Pride. Of course, we remember him alongside other fallen heroes, Donovan, Don Williams. We lost the other just so recently, Kenny Rogers. These were the people who entertained us, made us happy, and of course, when Charlie Pride goes, we are also reminded of Elvis Presley and the salad years of our lives.
Wow, all right.
But may he rest in eternal peace.
Indeed, I agree. And of course, their legacy lives on, you know, with the kind of music, yes, that they leave for us. Speaker, you want to say something about that? Were you there, Bag? We cross over to this Chebukati thing that we have already touched on. And lawmakers call for pause of reggae jig. We don't know whether that would be realistic or not. That we'll be discussing as we proceed. Sakaja leads Senate Sonko rescue team. Nairobi Senator takes center stage in battle to save former nemesis as political undertones emerge. Sonko is confident that Senate is going to save him as we await to see the proceedings this week.
I pity Sonko because he seems to have been his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
Probably the only thing I do not agree with, just like I did not agree with the arrangement in Kiambu, is the process through which we are holding these governors out of office. I think it is in contravention with the democratic practices in our country. I remember the process in Kiambu. Now I look at the process here in Nairobi. Sometimes I really wonder whether these online voting that was done was real voting and to what extent that was supposed to be allowed. And I know it was actually raised in the Senate. I remember at some point one of the senators raising, I think it was Murkomen, saying that it is important that as we start this process, we declare who is on board and who is on online, so that then we do not hear that some people who are not aware that they were participating in the process also voted. So the way we are handling some of these issues personally, I think it is the wrong way. And we need to relook at our processes. And I think Sakaja, being a level-headed politician, my age mate and also my schoolmate, I think one of the things that he's doing is trying to look at the issue of the process. And probably he's just being a gentleman by saying, even though I'm likely to be competing against you in future, I think we still need to follow the process, the due process. I think that's probably one of the things that he's looking at. Of course, the other issue that Sakaja would also be looking at is if there is no governor today in Nairobi and maybe we have had to do another election at this moment, or if for whatever reasons the former deputy governor is recalled, that definitely would also present a challenge for Sakaja in coming years. So he would rather stay with Sonko at this point and battle it out with him in 2022. But remember, we are also looking at Nairobi County, which has also been watered down in terms of the functions that we have through the BBI, because once the NMS has been officially entrenched in law, it also means that the governor of Nairobi is going to be more of a ceremonial figure than a real actor in terms of development in the heart of the city. So I think the whole of this issue of Nairobi County is something that has been touched in very different ways, and we no longer are having the county that we had when we were doing the first elections in 2013 and also 2017.
This one will serve as an example, and I mean it's one of the key things that I picked for discussion, so let's just assume that we have got into the discussion already. This will serve as an example for us, in terms of just ensuring that we get to know the leadership at the level of the county, understanding devolution some more. Which way for Sonko? Is it better off if we have him, or better off if we have him off?
It is expected that Nairobi County will have a governor, whether that governor is Sonko or somebody else.
Yes.
And I personally do not agree with His Excellency the President that he should place the affairs of the city under actively serving military officers. I think the laws of the land are very clear. There's a distinction between the military and the civilian functions
Yeah.
of the instruments of state. It's also very well laid out in the Constitution and in the various devolution acts about how the national government and the county governments would find fusion and cooperation
Right.
if the national government should take over any of the functions of the devolved government. The big thing here is not about Mr. Mike Mbuvi Sonko. It's about the laws of the land and the kinds of precedents that we are putting in place. Of course, the people of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, more than Mike Sonko are to be pitied. We must pity ourselves. How do we end up with the kinds of dramatists that we place in high positions in Nairobi, in Kiambu, and elsewhere? The people of West Pokot, for example, have more common sense. They elect a professor. The people of Kericho, people of Kisumu, and such other places, the people of Kisii, they put in place tested, tried and tested people. The people of Kakamega County, for example, are people who have thought through things. The people of,
are you bringing up the debate of
Makueni
degrees?
Yeah,
that it is necessary to
not necessarily degrees, but I think yes, there's a degree to which even degrees are also important in these things. And we have had people going to River Road to acquire some of those. There have been questions of degrees in Mombasa County, for example. We remember the saga of degrees which allegedly came from Uganda, and the matters were eventually determined in fairly suspicious manners. But here is a drama queen, in fact, if you want, but you can call him a drama king, who is lying in the streets, punching walls, engaging in a lot of undignified bling-bling affairs. And we, the people of Nairobi, in the totality of our sobriety, we think that this is the right person. The people of Kiambu has got a surfeit of competent managers. You did not expect that Kiambu would be the kind of place that would give this country the kind of leadership that it keeps on giving us at various levels.
Daktari, if it's in the best interest of the people, and we know very well that the Constitution also dictates that when the interest of the people is at hand, then we can as well take a different direction. Don't you suppose then that the president is justified to have gone the NMS route to save the interest of the people?
No, he is not, and the speaker is here. He works with the county government, the devolved governments in this country. The truth of the matter is that the Constitution of Kenya has laid out very clear mechanisms of transfer of functions from the county government to the national government. And equally important, the national government can also devolve more of its function to county government. And the legal infrastructure for that exists. What has been happening under this regime right from its first term has been to treat the law, to hold the law in contempt, such that the president can actually bring military people and take them to Kenya Meat Commission, brings them to Nairobi County, takes them to EACC, wherever, and there is nothing you can do about it. It is called impunity. And we are talking about a head of state and government who has held the Bible, the most sacred institution in Christendom, to say, and I will protect the Constitution. That absence of constitutionalism is likely to be the one thing about which this presidency will be remembered for, more than anything else. If it's talking about legacy, it's the legacy of impunity.
Well, as we look at that then, it brings me to this point.
Why is Sonko being removed from office? Actually, the reason is because Sonko has refused to sign the transfer of funds to NMS, and he stands as a stumbling block. And of course, you remember even the courts did pronounce themselves on the matter and say that the way the process was being handled was not in a constitutional manner. It was not legally correct. And I can also see the guns have also been trained on the judge who made the ruling. And I think that would kind of be intimidation. It's good to allow the institutions to carry out their duties. And Sonko himself has contested the whole aspect of the transfer, of which you and me know very well that he did this transfer under duress. And you remember this would have been kind of an exchange for his freedom. You remember the time he was arrested as he was running away in somewhere in Taita Taveta, I think in Voi. And when he came back, within I think 2 weeks, he had already been in State House signing documents, which he claims he did not know what they were all about. And now when he is more sober, he says, no, I did not mean this what I wanted, and I also now think I want to revert back to the normal settings. And but by that time, of course, we have already covered so much ground in terms of NMS, and now Sonko refuses to sign the documents and the budgets, and this is why he's being hounded out of the office. If he remained quiet and compliant and cooperative, he would probably not be finding himself where he is now. But I think he is also ready and willing to fight for his space, because he figures out if he doesn't do this, then he's going to be more than a lame duck governor of the county of Nairobi. Yeah, so I think as a country, probably what we need to do is to follow the laws, follow the constitution, and sometimes we do not focus too much on the individuals. I know, as Dr. Barakia says, that as Nairobians, which I'm not part of, they must have been out of their mind to have taken certain... I do not want to look like I am belittling the people of Nairobi.
He's one of us, only that he ran to Nyeri. In those critical moments.
I'm a total Nyerian. I'm 100% Nyerian, who actually sleeps, eats, and walks, and does everything in Nyeri. Only comes on invitation to the city.
The problem with us in Nairobi are people like the speaker here. He goes to our schools in Nairobi. He goes to Lenana School. Then he goes to
Nairobi,
the University
where
of Nairobi.
he was with
Then in critical moments, people like him, who should be governors here, he runs to the village to become the speaker. We challenge him to come back.
Well, they say the village, the village is an easier ground for them when it comes to matters politics. So
Speaker Nairobi needs you come back.
Well. Speaking of that, and now talking of, what the presidency will be remembered for in terms of upholding the rule of law, the constitutionalism, CJ Maraga officially was an exit. I would want to say it officially because now he proceeds for the terminal leave, and then eventually come January, he will be out completely. Out at a time when, of course, we are dealing with so much, in terms of, getting justice in the country. He goes out a very sad man because he says that the executive has belittled the judiciary or the courts, for the longest of time. He goes out a worried man of what is left of the courts, so to speak. And we've also mentioned at some point that indeed we've seen, some of these, in terms of what has happened in Nairobi, the government going against what it is that the courts have declared. Contempt of court is one thing that is very common here. As CJ Maraga exits the stage, again, a legal dilemma bedevils us on the appointment of his successor. What do you make of his role, his time in office, his last moments, and what he leaves for us, Dr. Ari?
Linda, you say that Maraga goes away a sad man, and
at least from what he said
there
during
is a
his state of
sense in
address.
which actually you're right, he goes away a sad man, but not sad for himself. He's sad for his country.
Right.
The Chief Justice is in the place where when the Lord was being taken to the hill on Calvary and the women were gathered around him and crying and weeping, he turned around and looked at them and told them, daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but for yourselves and your children. And that is the kind of sadness that engulfs the CJ Maraga, even as he prepares now to exit that stage. He was there. He followed the law to the letter. I'm aware that some in the learned profession think that it's not extremely critical that you follow the law to the letter, that you need to tamper it with other considerations. As a layman and as a political scientist, I'm satisfied that he did a good job for the country in the fullness of time, in the history of jurisprudence. His tenure will be placed on the weighing scales, and I think whether it was about various advisories, people seeking opinion on a variety of things, such as the life of the ongoing parliament, and which President Kenyatta has not pronounced himself. Maraga advised that parliament was illegally constituted and in office now, and he advised that it should be dissolved. The least the president needed to do was to make some statement about it. You don't behave as if nothing has happened. And in fact, a little later, you go on to address the self-same parliament as if no legal pronouncement has been made by a mandated state officer. That, I think, is one more nail on the coffin of impunity in this country. And going forward, therefore, future generations will put on the weighing scales the tenure of CJ Maraga, the tenure of President Uhuru Kenyatta, and other officials who have been defying court orders. And I think history will judge him most favorably.
Well, he's been looked at as one of the key people that we would not, sit comfortably seeing him go home. Do you suppose then, well, as the conversation would go on, as many would say, that, well, most of the appointments should be given to the youth. Do you think that he needs to find himself, back in a different sector, or so to speak, or the president should retain him somewhere else? Is that a brain that we do not want to lose?
I think the Chief Justice Maraga's brain would better be used in training institutions. I think if he has to stay actively involved in the running of this country or in the development of this country, I think he should just go to the School of Law and take units and teach students, teach young lawyers, upcoming lawyers on matters law. And also constitutionalism. I think is very important for him to do that. And CJ Maraga is one of the people who have been suffocated completely by the system because of his independent way of thinking. I may not agree with him in a few areas and in a few of his decisions, but by and large, I agree with his position that judiciary need to be independent and need to act independently, and not only act independently, but also be seen to be independent. And for that, it has cost him a lot of his freedom, and also the position that he held ought to have been held in high regard. That did not happen so much. By the executive denying resources to the judiciary. And I remember one time I actually was on the mainstream media talking about it, the issue of the executive and the legislature giving sufficient funds to judiciary. Now, having denied the judiciary sufficient funds, that meant that they are crippled.
Yeah.
I know from time to time, and I dare say this, I've seen judiciary in where I come from quietly walking into other offices to look for assistance on logistical matters. Very, very simple, fairly simple logistical matters.
Yeah.
And other departments of government have to come on board and assist them. As a matter of fact, even as we talk now, there's some kind of logistical support we have given to them. Of course, you understand the way the judiciary works and also the way we oversight. So sometimes they're also shy of going to some of the other, yeah. But why would we subject judiciary to that kind of level? Why would we degrade them to that level? And of course, isn't that also kind of dealing a serious blow to their independence when they have to, across the country, look for support from other government departments? Reason they have no proper support, financial support from the executive and from the legislature. And why is it so? Because their head have pronounced himself on certain matters in the independence of the judiciary. I think that is not the right thing to do. I do not agree with CJ Maraga as to the extent he made a decision that the election ought to have been repeated. I know that's a whole big topic that can be debated and discussed the whole day. But I asked myself sometimes, would that have been done in the United States of America? Especially looking at, and as Dr. Ari has said, tampering the legal issues with the reality on the ground and other considerations, as one would say. So sometimes it's rather too costly for us to redo an election, especially under the circumstances that we are in as a country. But really, that's a different story altogether. But Maraga is a person who goes out with head high and his shoulders high, and he has done what he ought to have done. He has pronounced himself from time to time on the independence of the judiciary. And I think the predecessors will have to, or rather the successors will have to come and fit into those shoes and ensure that they lift the judiciary from the level that we are in now to a higher level. And if that was to happen, I'm sure that our systems would have to agree with the judiciary on their independence. But if we have a successor who comes and cows and falls into that trap, all then unto our judiciary and unto our people, because then justice will be something that is not achievable in our country.
Well, as he bestows the watch on his deputy, that is CJ, or Deputy CJ, Philomena Mwilu, he also exits as he says that it is necessary that we support the judiciary as the last bastion of hope on the rule of law. Whether indeed they're going to get that support or not is certainly a question of wait and see, and this even as that dilemma lingers on the legal process of appointing his successor is a story that we'll be following up on, and we'll make sure that we give you updates on the same. That is one subject that I would have, definitely wanted us to expound some more on, but time is not on our side. We do not go without addressing the BBI once again. We're back at 8, and well, this we are done with, but let me just bring it up. The Msambweni by-election, I don't know why, we have very many by-elections, but the main focus is on what is happening in Msambweni. Candidates in late vote hunt for Msambweni by-election. We are out of the newspaper review, but I am just picking it up to lead our conversation. So politicians pull out all stops in last-minute campaigns, which each aspirant is optimistic that they will clinch the seat. And this is looked at as, what would be mirrored on what we expect for the BBI conversation or the 2022 politics. You are on the DP's side?
I'm on the side of democracy of the country.
They say you're working with the DP.
Kenya. Whenever he asks me for opinion, I will give him my opinion.
All right.
But as a journalist, I'm sure you go where he is doing these things, and you have not seen me you have not seen me there.
Right.
But if he reaches out to me, as he does from time to time, I'll give him my opinion.
Okay.
And any other person who reaches out to me for my opinion, I'll give it to them. And if there's need, I'll give it to them even in the open. I will not go to just
yes.
like I'm doing now.
All right.
Yeah, but this is a dress rehearsal. A dress rehearsal for the BBI and a dress rehearsal for 2022. The stakes are extremely high. You had Raila Odinga of ODM the other day saying this is about BBI, but he also knows that BBI is about 2022. And you also had former Senator Johnson Muthama telling the people of Msambweni that this is about Ruto. So gone are the days when by-elections used to be small, localized affairs that sometimes people got to learn about only after they had taken place. And the news coverage would be a little corner in the inside pages. And even as this is happening, I think the mother of all by-elections is in the offing. This is also a dress rehearsal for the mother of all by-elections, which we expect sometime 2021 in Kabuchai, in Matungu, in Machakos. And I do hope that nothing bad happens again, especially in these very terrible days. But that will be almost a mini election. I do not know whether the by-election next year will come before the BBI, after the BBI, or with the BBI, or indeed if the BBI itself will be there.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Mheshimiwa, this brings us to the conversation of the BBI automatically, where we had left it on what the IEBC argues, in regards to the verification process. And, on that very note, the Daktari has left it. The conversation is whether we're going to have the BBI, that is the referendum, at all or not. That is based on the signature collection. The team says that they have presented about 4-point-something million of signatures to the IEBC. What the constitutional requires is about 1 million or so to speak. So do you suppose that the moment they verify and they get, clear and clean signatures, one that can be used, and they hit 1 million, they will stop the process at that, or they have to verify all the signatures that are presented to them?
Well, they ought to verify all the signatures, and probably, I don't know, but this would be for further interpretations even by the court of law. If they found that a lot of the signatures are not correct, they are not right, but they find at least 1 million signatures which are okay, I think, to me, if they have more than 1 million signatures which are okay, then that would mean that they have passed the test. But should they not be able to find that, then of course that would mean, just like the Okoa Kenya initiative that had collected so many signatures, but all of them, or a lot of them, were not right and were not properly collected. Then you remember they were actually thrown out at that point. And then we came to Punguza Mzigo, where they found their signatures were okay. And if you look at the way Punguza Mzigo collected their signatures, they really took time, a lot of time.
And that is what gets Ekuru Court questioning.
A whole year almost.
Yes.
And this time around, now we have the 4 million collected within 3-4 days. So that is what IBC want to look at. But it's very interesting that the BBI Secretariat thinks not. And sometimes it's also, you read much more than what is being said. But I think the most interesting of all these aspects is the fact that Raila Odinga himself is now asking for amendment of BBI. And I remember when we started, he completely blocked the issue of amendments, But as we talk today, he is reaching out now to his counterparts to see if a few amendments here and there can be sneaked in. I did say here last time, and of course I know Mheshimiwa was of a different opinion. I did say that once you have formulated a bill, and the bill has been taken to the people, and the people have appended their signatures based on that bill, never mind whether they read or they did not, it will not be, legally speaking, it will not be right for you then to go and amend that bill. I know for sure, the last time we were here on Monday, I know Mheshimiwa Kioni did point out that that the Constitution allows you to come up to formulate a bill after you came up with a suggestion. If you collect 1 million signatures from Kenyans on a suggested or a suggested proposal, then you can, the Constitution allows you to go and formulate a bill based on that.
Yeah.
But even that bill would have to reflect the proposal that you did have people signed against.
Okay.
So you can't, for example, change on how the IEBC is to be picked after people have appended their signature.
Okay.
And then later on you come and say, oh, we have rethought about this. And probably, I don't know, maybe that's why Daktari says here whether, he's casting doubt as to whether the BBI process itself will take off and have a day with the Kenyans. Yeah, but of course, as they say, the train has left the station, and I don't think they will be looking back. Unless very serious issues do come up, especially from the two principles. And I think the main principle being the president himself, I do not think he would allow the process to collapse at this point in time. And I look at these things from really an analyst perspective. Yeah, but where we are now, Daktari raised very important issues as to the issue of costing. Did we cost this process?
Yeah.
Did we know how much it is going to cost us in collection of the signatures? Do we know how much it will cost us in verification? Do we know how much it will cost us in the actual campaigns, in logistics, in hiring of new staff, in the actual referendum itself? And we also know, have we looked at the cost of how much it's likely to cost us?
Well, the much we know, right?
On other related costs, the other related costs that are not necessarily mentioned here or that cannot be put on the table.
Yeah.
Like there will be demands from different stakeholders here and there, and that will still be a cost. Have we looked at all that cost? And as a country, are we ready and willing to incur the cost in total so that then we can deliver the document? Are we looking at it vis-a-vis the economic situation in the country? Are we looking at it vis-a-vis the other issues that are affecting Kenyans at the moment? So the BBI Secretariat need to enumerate all this so that they do not seem to be in a back and forth kind of conversation and negotiations with the BBI in the media. They need to cost everything so that then the IEBC team can also be able to fit in, or can also declare as to whether they will be able to handle the process.
But just who is supposed to give this costing? Who is supposed to tell us this is the amount of money that needs to be incorporated in this process? As far as we know, Baba says it's only 2 billion. IEBC says it's around 14 billion. Just who is supposed to give us the actual figure before we start even breaking down for each to go to different quarters?
I have no doubt that it is the IEBC because if we go by previous cases, we look at precedents, it has been the IEBC and before it the ECK for the 2010 and the 2005 referenda.
Our fear though would be the fact that even what it is that IEBC has declared, we have questioned first in terms of how this money has been accounted for. So in as much as we would say, without doubt, it is the IEBC, then what confidence do we have again?
Just that, Linda. The IEBC is the giant elephant in the room.
Yes.
Remember that the IEBC commissioners have themselves issued a lengthy press release
questioning
the BBI process and the recommendations that have been made about and against the IEBC.
Right.
Someone is coming to you with a knife and they are telling you, sharpen this one because we are going to use it to slay you. We are going to use it to chop off your head.
Wow.
Are you going to allow them?
No.
To say nothing about the numerous court processes that are in the way of this thing. That is why I think it made a lot of sense when some people were saying, let us discuss. And President Kenyatta himself said in Kisii, read it, let us have a conversation around it, and let us see if we can have a non-conflictual, a non-controversial referendum, which would have meant that we go to a referendum because the Constitution requires that we go through those motions. But ideally, we would have agreed. But it does appear that a certain section of the political class has had a very huge appetite for contestation, for a confrontational kind of thing, because as we have said, it is a curtain raiser to 2022. And it would be good to cast somebody, in this particular case, the Deputy President, William Ruto, to one end of the poll, Raila Odinga and his troops at another end of the poll. Then we go out and contest. For you cannot be telling the country that we want to unify the nation, that we are using this BBI as a national healing process, when at the same time I'm telling the speaker here, I don't want to listen to you. Let us meet at the Debe. And I'm saying so in a very angry manner. And he's also replying to me in an equally angry manner. And at some point we throw common decency through the window. You have seen the things, the sound bites that are coming from Sambweni. There are things that you cannot broadcast on national television, TV, but we are seeing them in the social media online. The things the politicians are saying to each other, Aisha Jumwa on the one side, Edwin Sifuna on the other side, and you are wondering what has happened to leadership in this country.
Yeah. And I would ask this, in such grounds, do you suppose there can ever be hope for a conversation? Remember, the speaker points out that, you know, the people have already appended their signatures. How then do you tell them that, again, we review and have different reviews? And your former boss argues that we need to have a stand. Can we even have a stand on this?
The shadow left.
Long time ago.
Yeah, you begin understanding a little more why I left that space.
Yes.
Because you cannot be blowing hot and cold.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that blowing hot and cold in the political class. You see the governor of Kakamega, who is my governor, and he's also my friend, and he's the chair of the Council of Governors. He takes a pause in the middle of the BBI process to angrily shout at a funeral about how funds are not getting into the counties. It is 3 months. It has been 3 months. We have been waiting and the funds have not come. And he is forgetting that he's part of that process that is making it impossible for funds to be found and then to flow from the treasury to the counties and to other places, because our priorities are completely wrong. That the things we should be focusing on have been forgotten. So we are caught up in that trap of contradictions. Speaker, I really fear for devolution in this country, because we have been here before. In 1963, we went to independence as a significantly devolved country. By the end of 1964, devolution had been killed. And it began with starving of the regional assemblies of funds, and which was deliberate at that time. This time I think it's a hybrid of being deliberate and also of the funds not being there. We moved from 1 month to 2 months. Now it is 3 months. They're going to somehow find some funds somewhere and send them to the counties, most likely for salaries and other recurrent costs. Then they will pick up, we'll move from 3 months to 4 months, then we'll move to 6 months. And before we know whether it's going to be under this government or under the next one, we are going to have such a huge backlog that we are going to be asking ourselves, where are we going with this devolution?
Well, and as many would argue, it's the best thing that has happened to us. That is indeed a great concern. In about 30 seconds or a minute or so, what do you think about devolution? Does it break your heart to even imagine that they say the IEBC is going to strengthen devolution, that the leaders argue that they need to strengthen devolution, yet such is not being realized? Are we trying to bury our heads in the sand? We overlook the reality of the matter?
Indeed, there's a challenge in terms of how we are handling devolution. And I think we have very serious anti-devolution crusaders, or people whose thinking is very far off devolution, even though they come as the devolution defenders. And that is the biggest predicament that we are having at the moment. If you look at how we have treated and handled counties, then you will understand that in future it can only get more tougher and more difficult. Yes, the chairman of COG did put it correctly. Funds have not been flowing to the counties. It's actually sometimes by miracle that we are able to move from one corner to another, that I'm even able to attend to this your interview, because handling even payment even of the fuel in the counties is very difficult now. Even handling our own personal issues is extremely difficult.
Just what is the biggest stumbling block towards, getting counties to generate their own revenue as of now?
You see, the issue is that revenue that is generated in the country is generated both by counties and by the national government, because it's generated by citizens. And all this revenue that is generated is collected by Kenya Revenue Authority on behalf of the 48 governments that we have in Kenya, the national government and the 47 county governments. So that money which is collected there is not generated by the national government. One need not confuse that. It is money which is generated and collected by KRA, generated by Kenyans, collected by KRA for and on behalf of all the governments that we have, and then it's supposed to be shared. Because the county government are not constitutionally supposed to collect revenue. They only collect rates and rents. And for that reason, Kenya should be satisfied with that. Because if you insist that the counties are going to collect more revenue, it then means you hit the common mwananchi who is already overtaxed by KRA. Yeah, you hit him hard and finish them. So really, we should not be demanding so much of more collections of the local governments or the devolved units, but we should be looking at more efficient way of first disbursing what is collected. The constitution actually says that counties ought to get the money on priority basis. Of course, we have another bigger priority now, that is the repayment of our foreign debt. Of course, once we collect money now at this point, I think the moratorium is over, and so we have to first of all now give that the priority. Then probably we come to the counties. But are we even prioritizing the counties? We don't. So that's the biggest predicament you have with the devolved units. And I agree with Dr. here that it's possible that with time we might just choke the devolved units up to the level where even a common mwananchi will be wondering, why do we even need this devolution? And so this could have been the first review of the 2010 Constitution. Maybe by the next 5-10 years, we will be discussing of reviewing the same Constitution now to kill the devolution and return everything back to the center.
Well, we only hope that it does not get to that level. And big the politician he is, Honorable Jeremiah Kioni has been on his way right from the time we started up until we give him the benefit of doubt. I agree. Well. Yeah, we really hope and cross fingers for that. Thank you so much, Kagushia John, the Speaker in Nyeri County. It was good having you this morning. And Dr. Barak Muluka, it was good having you this morning. We close this session from here as we hope to have more and more conversations that indeed would be of benefit to us and also instrumental towards us getting, into that level where we can have best policies for the sake of the growth of the nation. And we cross over to a different discussion altogether after this short break.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Then get out, sir! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback, because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has served me anyway.
For them to come back, it will take a miracle. It will take an act of God for Tuskys to come back.
Get yourself out of here! Don't get out! It's gone on too long!
If Tuskys want to, they can have a comeback because it's not all lost.
For Tuskys supermarket, maybe this is the end of the road, or maybe there will be a comeback.
I'm not praying for Tuskys to fall, because it has
not all lost.
And so with so many skincare lines competing for attention, so many processes there or available for us to make ourselves look beautiful, sometimes it can get a little bit confusing. Sometimes you're always told to have some level of wisdom when you choose what it is that you want for your skin, especially the face. Ladies will tell you that, this is life, what gives you confidence. And sometimes you really want to go and ask your friends or people you meet, what have you done on your skin? It looks good, and then you take up the challenge. So today, take a look at just how best you can make yourself looking good, your face in particular, and you have some special processes that will be taking you through that are necessary by. So sometimes we just overlook the care, but it is important that you take care of yourself at a very tender age going up, so that, even when, age catches up with you, it would show on your face. So welcome on board. It is that time we discuss matters skincare, and joining me for the conversation is Paris Muthia, who's a medical esthetician. She is seated on the seat, so she will take us through another process, and also the process that we start, B12 skincare. I'm sure it could be strange to you. You probably have not heard of it, or if you've heard of it, you do not have more information on it. So this is the day that we get conversation and understand some more about the B12 skincare process. And we also have Charity Kinyanjui, who is a nurse. And sometimes, as ladies, as men, you go out there to the salon, you want to find a hairdresser who's done her hair well, so that gives you the confidence that she could be doing a good job on you. You also want to have a skincare expert who has a nice skin. That will give you the confidence that, okay, well, if her skin looks this good, then you can be rest assured that what it is that they're going to do to you is also going to be worth your cash. So hence the reason why I had people who have very nice skin. So they're going to be giving us the secret as to why they are all glowing and looking very young. So karibuni sana.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, and take us through the first process that we'll be going through.
Well, today we're going to be doing obviously B12 and microneedling, but to start with, that's why I'm seated here.
Yeah.
We will be demonstrating, not just telling you. Sometimes talk is cheap. It's also good for us to show you how quick and effective this thing can be when you come into our clinic. Yeah? So the B12 we're going to be doing, for those who don't know, somebody's asking, what is B12? So B12 is actually a vitamin, and it's when we say B12, there's B compound. With B12, B6, so many B's combined together, right, Charity?
All right.
And so today, Charity will tell us what would you be giving me on air and why are we giving it? Because I think it's important for people at home to understand why are they doing it?
Right.
What are
the benefits
of this B12?
Yes.
Yeah? Charity, would you like to take over that and tell us why you're giving me B12? I'm seated here. I'm 46 years old. And
hold
you're
it right
giving
there.
me a B12. Why are you giving it to me?
Did you just say your age?
Oh, did I? Oh, yes.
46?
Yes.
No way. No way. Subject to conversation after this break. You cannot be 46. You can only be 28.
I'm 46. I'm a mother of 2 and a grandmother of 1.
Wow.
6-month-old baby.
Wow. So look at my camera person. It's like, no. Charity, take us through. I think I know the secrets today. Okay?
Okay, what we are going to be giving is vitamin B complex. It's actually a combination of all the B's in one.
Okay.
Plus it also has nicotinamide, which is also known as niacinamide.
Okay.
Very good for skin care, very good for acne. It also balances the sebum production on your face. Apart from all that, it gives you energy and boosts your immune system. During this COVID season, you really want this in your system. Yes.
All right, so what is the process? What are the advantages? Of course, you've said the advantages, and how often does one want to use it? I have a couple of questions that I'll be asking as we proceed with the procedure. Like we said, cheap can be talk, so talk can be cheap sometimes, so we need to see the actual processes.
So do you want to start the process?
Yes,
sure.
So as she prepared the needle for me, we worked together, and that's why we decided to do it. Because sometimes you tell people, but they're like, they told us, but do they do?
Do they do it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The importance of B12, number one, we live in Kenya, it's a tropical country where we have sunshine, and a lot of people have hyperpigmentation, right? Niacinamide now is known to be the most complex that can give you that clear skin. You know, it clear the skin, so you don't have those patches. You know, because what is hyperpigmentation? Hyperpigmentation is when you get sun damage, or it can be caused by inflammation inside your skin. It can also come because of age spot. You know, as you get older, your skin starts discoloring.
And if it has done that, in the event that you probably were not using the B12, but then you decide to start using it, does it come in to clear the effects of the skin?
Of course, but I need to make sure that I tell people this. You're not going to do one B12 shot and you're like, yeah, my skin is clear.
Yes.
No.
How many do I want to? Like, it should be a constant process?
Okay, normally we say get a series of at least 6 to 10, and then you start doing something called maintenance. Meaning you can do B12 every week, one every week, and then after a while you can start doing it every 2 months, every month, you know. For me, I prefer to do it monthly, once a month, once a month. Why? For immune system. We all need to build our immune system, and you know, to have a good skin. Why do our skin normally show trouble? Normally, whatever is happening inside you has a funny way of crawling out into your skin.
Yes.
So your skin can tell you if something is right or not.
So this is like a way of catering of what is inside, and then eventually, when the inside is okay, it shows on your skin.
Exactly. Also, when you're low on B12 complex, actually, you find a lot of people have weaknesses. You feel you're just tired for no reason. Your skin look dull. You look pale. Most of the time, it's just because you are actually B12 deficient.
And if you have it in plenty, then most of the people will ask these outrageous questions. Does it make you lose weight? Does it darken your skin?
Good question. B12 can even be injected on your belly to make you to melt the fat. So it can be used for weight management. It can be used for increasing your immune system. It can be used for your skin, for hair, nail, and skin. It's actually good for hair, nail, and skin.
Doesn't darken you in any way?
No, it doesn't darken you.
Okay, well, Charity has something for us.
It doesn't lighten you and it doesn't darken you. It's just a vitamin. Yeah. So I'm being brave.
So does it have to be this way? I mean, one cannot do something else apart from injecting?
There are so many things we do. I mean, if you come to our clinic, there's so many things. I mean, we don't just do needles. We also use machines. But for B2, it's that you can also take it with Olo. You can say Olo.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but the difference between Olo and this is going straight to my blood.
So this one is almost instant in your process.
Yeah. So does it sting? Of course. When she's putting it in, I'm going to feel it.
Okay, let's hold it right there. We need to have the camera.
Watch the cameraman. I think you want to.
I mean, this is the price of beauty. Ouch.
Okay. Breathe in. And we are done.
It's not as painful.
It is painful, honestly. How can it not be painful? So when should you do this? In the morning, in the evening? Are there times, special times?
No, there's no special time.
That is
you just
done.
come to our clinic. It's that quick. We needed to do it on air to show people. There's no reason of you going out there feeling energized, feeling tired, your skin looking dull, and also this is the benefit apart from the skin that it has. It also prevents dementia. Alzheimer's on the rise. When you take your B12 now, it's almost like you are placing those things that can bring those diseases.
Sometimes one would want to ask, what are the natural things that I can get B12? Food?
You can eat food. You want to take over here? This is your thing. Tell people the kind of food they should be eating at home in order to get the same benefit you've given.
Okay, we're talking about mainly green leafy vegetables. Most of the fruits you get it in there. And then you also have tomatoes, and herbs like rosemary. Those are very good things that will supplement you with the vitamin B.
Okay.
Yes.
So after these injections, sometimes, are there side effects to it? Is there, a feel that you feel, or you will actually be more energetic? Because most of the times, injections would get you initiated, you feel like you're a little bit weak. Is it the same with this?
With a bigger percentage of people, they talk about fatigue.
Okay.
Mainly it's fatigue. You might feel a bit tired, sluggish, but after that you'll be fine. Drink a lot of water, take a lot of veggies, and you're good to go.
All right. So in this case, you are good to go.
So good, for sure. To me, whenever I take it, I feel tired the day of. Like later on, I'll feel a little bit tired. Then tomorrow I wake up with this energy.
Okay.
So it's like before you get the energy, you first feel a little bit drained, and then all of a sudden there's this increased energy the following day. Yeah.
What are the side effects of this? Could they be having any side effects? I mean, are there any worries when one is to take this? Does it react with some people?
Actually, it's anti-allergy.
Okay.
So really you don't have to fear about vitamin B complex. The only thing that maybe some people are worried about is the fatigue bit.
Okay.
But it is a supplement, it is healthy, and if it is in excess, it's normally excreted through your kidneys.
Okay.
So there's nothing to worry about that.
Oh, all right. So after you take this, you need not to worry that, maybe you're going to have effects on your skin, on your skin and all that.
No.
So when you do this, Paris, is it squarely about your skin? Is it squarely about what exactly is it about?
For me, I'm doing it for immune system.
Okay.
Yeah, and as we all know this, if you're taking good vitamin, all these vitamins are antioxidant.
Right.
What does antioxidant do to your skin? It make your skin grow. So Lily, I like to say those side effects you're looking for.
You would not
it's
get
a
them.
good side effect. Whereby now you'll have the energy, your skin will grow, your immune system will be stronger. So you're not just catching cold anyhowly. You get what I mean? So you're really building your overall health. You're making yourself stronger.
So how much should one take in a day so that we avoid overdose or underdose?
Normally for B complex, like when you come in, 2 cc is enough. You can take once a week. It's okay to take a week. It's okay to come in twice a month.
Okay.
It's okay to come in once a month,
right,
depending on what is your goal. What are we trying to achieve with you? Now, like if you're looking at acne, now are we going to do it much more often? Are we doing it just as a supplement? Then you just come in once a month. That is okay. Yes.
So in that case then, and people with acne, or generally people who really are looking forward to get a nice skin, will tell you they want results almost instantly. So while they could be doing a daily dose and everything, just how quick would they expect to see this evidently showing on their well-being, on their bodies and all that?
Now you see there are reasons, like there are a number of things, You have to look at your lifestyle to begin with, as much as you're coming in for the B shot.
Yes.
But what is your lifestyle like? Are you eating right? Are you eating junk? How much water do you drink in a day?
Yes.
How is your sleep? Do you sleep well?
All right.
Okay. Do you exercise? All this combine each other and really complement each other.
And indeed, that would have been my next question, because then one would get this job and they're like, I'm okay, I don't need to exercise, I don't need to go and eat my veggies. After all, the B12 has done the magic. Coupling it up with other, say skin products, coupling it up with other, medicine, others, like what it is that would be prescribed to you, would there be any dangers that will occur?
No. B supplement, it's a supplement.
Okay, so
it's
it does
a
not react
vitamin.
with anything.
It does not react with anything. Yes.
All right. So 9 health benefits that one would confidently say that I am taking B12 today and I'm expecting to get.
It improves your liver function.
Okay.
It improves your nervous system, improves your heart function, boosts your immune system, boosts your energy levels. Now subsequently increasing your metabolism. So it's also a very good thing for weight loss.
Okay.
It's also good for acne, balances out your sebum production.
Right.
So we're talking about, it makes also your pores smaller.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I am worried. I'm a little bit skinny. I don't think I would want to shed more weight, but I also want to look at my face and love it. So when I take this or when I get that job, how do I get it to do what it is that I want it to do, for me, as opposed to, giving me all the results that would end up giving me results that I honestly do not know. I don't want to grow.
Do you want me to answer that?
Please answer that.
So that is why when you come, you just don't come and we say, we're giving you B12. Like we say, this B12 is a complex. This is a B12. No, this actually is not. This is a B complex. Okay. There's B12, B6, B whatever. So when you come to us, we have to decide which B complex do you need. Do you need the B12? Do you need the B6? Do you need all of them combined? Depending with what are you there for. Like I just said, she just gave it to me for immune system, right? Now, if you came and you had acne, then we'll give you, because we are targeting to treat acne. If you came because you want to lose weight, then now we are giving it to you because you want to lose weight. So we are the one who, when you come to us, when you come to our clinic, we do a consultation, and now we determine what it is that you need to gain out of B12, and we cater for that.
Okay.
It's not one fit all.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's incredible. That's incredible. Unless there's something else that we're leaving on the B12, I think we have picked up some lessons. I would love for me to get that injection. I don't know. I don't know whether I have the confidence to do that, but I think I need my skin glowing as much as yours is.
Well, the grace of God is sufficient, and plus, I mean, like she said, it's not just about this thing, it's what you do at home. You know, the things you do at home also will make the big difference. The food you eat, you know, they make all the big difference.
All right, okay, well, so we are coming out of this place 101% guaranteed that if I start the B12 process on my body, I will not have to worry about long-term effects. Charity?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
All right.
It's normally excreted.
Okay.
In excess, it's excreted normally.
And it's always good to talk to your doctor. I mean, to me, I always advise people, before you even come to us, you can talk to your doctor and say to your doctor, you can do blood tests. I mean, because again, the only way to know whether actually you are low on B complex, it's only to do blood tests. If you do blood work, then you will know, am I good? Is my B complex depleted? Do I need to boost it up? You know, and then if you know you need to boost it up, come to us.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So in this case, then it means it's not necessary for everyone. There are some people who have enough, and they really do not need to boost.
Yeah, but as you get older,
the
older you get, you find the more you need to boost. You know what I mean? So to me, I always say prevention is better than cure. Why do you have to wait until it is low for you to
boost it?
You can come once a month to just make sure that I'm boosting it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Got me, thinking. Just at what age should one start taking this? I mean, the young Turks, should they? Or maybe you wait until you're a teenager, you wait until you're a youth, you wait until you're 20 or 30. At what point?
It's advisable above 18.
Above 18?
Yes.
Okay, so anyone above 18 can always get this?
Yes.
All right, well, what will be the last shots for this, or take home for the process as we get to wind up?
Now, vitamin B complex, it's a supplement. I'd advise most people, actually everyone, to get it because it's going to boost your immune system. This period we are in, COVID-19 season, you really need to boost up your immune system. And apart from that, your energy levels. And apart from that, it has so many benefits, especially on skin care and nail care as well. Yes.
All right, so if you want to have your nails natural, you don't have to do the fake stuff that we all do out here, then I think you got your solution, you got your answers. If you want to look good, then I guess that is the way to go.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
It's a shortcut to it.
It is,
because if you're going to be taking orally every day, sometimes we forget. Sometimes we're not getting enough. Remember, they go through the gut, so you don't get the whole benefit of it. This is going straight to your bloodstream. So that's the difference. Yeah.
All right, that's good. I think we lock it up on the B2 skincare process. I know there's so much we can talk about it, but we're just giving you a sneak peek of the same, and you take advantage. How do they get you in the event that they'd want to take this challenge?
We are in Timeless Medical Spa. We're in Lavington, and they can go to our social media, timelessmedicalspakenya.com. That's our website. They can go to my YouTube channel, Paris Boothia. In fact, we have these videos that talk in length about these things.
All right.
That's the YouTube channel.
Okay, there you go. Take advantage of that. That is to mean then we are releasing Charity for now, and we stay with Paris. Paris is going to take us through another different process altogether that still revolves around looking good.
Yes.
Okay, that revolves around
Today's
looking
all
good.
about that.
It is, and it is micro needling for you back at home. If you have an idea of it, then you get more knowledge and more information about the same. But if you do not, then it is time that we get to learn. I don't know whether we take a break or we just release Charity and we proceed to the next one. Do we need to set up anything?
Well, we're going to need to, yes.
We're going to need to set up anything.
Just few.
Okay, let's see. So what goes and what stays?
Actually, we switch. Sit down, I start.
So it's a process that you need to also
if I'm
do
going to
it in
demonstrate,
someone?
I need to show somebody.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So anyway, we'll be talking about microneedling. First
Okay.
of all, let me start by saying what is microneedling, and let me put my uniform so that, you know.
Okay.
We're going to work.
Right. You need to have your gears on. It is necessary.
Yes.
I agree.
What is microneedling? Let's
Okay.
start there, yeah? It's a small gadget that use micro-channel needles, yeah? These needles, they literally punch hole into your skin. What we do, we actually injuring your skin. We
Okay.
are causing injury in your skin in order for skin to heal itself. Now,
Okay.
people will be like, causing injury? Why would
It
I want
doesn't
you to
sound
cause
good, I
injury? It
know.
doesn't- Listen, the only way the body will actually heal itself is by, you know, if you're okay like this, does the body need to heal itself? But when you get a cut, what happened?
Yes.
The body heal
Heals
itself and the
itself.
cut, you know. So we cause injury, and in doing so, when you're healing, your skin cell renew themselves.
Okay.
So what do you use microneedling for? You would use microneedling if you have scar, acne scar again, because a lot of people are suffering with that. I like to remind people we live in Kenya, we have sun damage. A lot of us look darker than we really are
Yeah.
because of sun damage.
Right.
Microneedling is a very good treatment that actually increase collagen production in your skin.
Okay.
So you look full. You
Okay.
don't, if you're losing, you know, as you get older, you lose collagen.
Yes.
It gets depleted. It goes down and down. Microneedling, after you've done it, after 1 week, boom, collagen increase.
Okay.
If you had scars, they minimize. If you have open pores, it's the best treatment, because
Right.
a lot of people will have open pores after having acne, or you know, during the end of the month, most women, they will break out,
yeah.
and then that pimple will leave a dark spot. And these days we are wearing masks all the time. I don't know about you, but I tend to break here a lot these
Oh,
days.
yeah?
I mean, in my job, we have to wear masks throughout.
Oh, okay.
So because your skin is not breathing, so you tend to break light here, get a people here. Now, when that pimple heal, what happened? You're left with a dark spot.
Yes.
Yeah. So microneedling, when done, it'll peel that.
Okay.
It increase collagen. It treats the acne scars, not acne itself.
Right.
Acne scars, hyperpigmentation, you know, and obviously it's an anti-aging treatment. Yes, because
How
it
constant?
tightens the skin.
Oh, it tightens the skin.
Yes,
Yeah. Also,
yeah.
how constant should one do this?
Once a month.
Once a
Normally,
month.
why? Because I feel you can do it. Some people do it every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. But for me, I feel you need to give the skin time to heal, so that you can even see the result that you got from microneedling, and realize, is it working? Is it not working?
Okay.
Did I see some benefit? Did I not see benefit? So I think it's good to give it at least a month, and then you go for another. You need at least 6 treatments.
All right, I'm curious, how do you do, at what point do you do this? At that point when you're talking about facial, that are usually, you know, like say monthly facial of your skin, or at what point then you probably do this, and then you get to the facial, or you do the facial first, and then you get to this?
Okay, either way. Okay, ideally it's this. If you already do facials and you're not seeing any changes, you've tried all facials, your pores are still open, they're still enlarged, you get what I mean? You still have the scar, you get what I mean? Your skin is looking dull, yeah? Your fine line are starting to show, then you are candidate for microneedling. You can, the only contraindication is if you were pregnant, we would then tell you let the baby come out, and then we will do this. Yeah, but really, and contraindication again could be if you have acne that is active acne. By active acne, I mean you have PP bacteria in your skin. You have those big pimples and everything. First, we have to heal those. We have to treat those using other different treatment like laser, peels, and all that. Then once that is done, now we do microneedling to take away the scars, to increase collagen, to make your skin look smooth, because they take away the bumps and all that.
All right, so let's kickstart the process as we keep asking questions.
This process, I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit on her hands.
Okay.
First of all, we're supposed to numb
I
the
hope
skin.
we'll have the camera there. Yes.
We're supposed to numb the skin, so we put numbing cream.
All right. Because it's a painful process.
It's a painful process. Let me not lie. We numb even though
so
we
this
numb.
is done on the face or where?
It's done anywhere. You can do it, by the way, you can do it on your thighs for stretch marks.
Okay.
To minimize stretch marks.
All right, that's interesting.
Yes, so it can be done the whole body. There isn't anywhere that you can do microneedling. Most people do it on their face, but literally it can be done anywhere, know? Yeah. So I'm just putting my gloves.
So today we're doing on her hands, yeah?
Yeah, we just do demo on her hands. So normally we would put this numbing cream and let it, if we're in the clinic, that's why I'm only going to demo, I'm not going to do the lube treatment here. Why? If we're in the clinic, she's supposed to stay like this for 15 minutes to half an hour with the numbing cream. So that by the time I get to it, it's numb. She's not feeling the pain. Even if she feels the pain, it's minimal. Remember, I'm going to be doing 12 needles at the same time on this area. So we numb it for 15 minutes to half an hour if you come in the clinic. So really, I'm just going to be doing a little demo just so people can see how it works. So once we do that, we also, after the skin has numbed, we then would use things like, we call it grinding. So we use hyaluronic acid, you can, just to make sure the thing is grinding well. And then we take our needle. It's always good to see. I mean, if you go to a clinic, please
make sure
have somebody open the needle in front of you. You see the way even Charlotte doing my B12, she opened the needle in front of you. It's very important because you have to make sure it's sterile. You have to make sure it's sterile. So you have to make sure that the person is within calisthenics. So I'm going to struggle a little bit opening this, but okay. That's what happens when you're doing things on TV.
Yes. It's okay.
You have to make them work.
It has to work. We probably should have started by opening and have Charity believe that, well, after all, it's the only needle that we've used on her, and there you go. So these are processes that you cannot do at home?
No, we don't encourage that you do this at home. Because you might, some people are crazy enough to do it themselves. But you could easily injure yourself. You get what I mean? You can easily injure yourself. So I wouldn't do it at home. I think it's good to go to a clinic.
Well, I can see Charity scared for a moment. Charity, you've gone through this process before?
Let's assume
some level of pain, Okay.
So let's assume Charity has got open pores here. She has a scar here. She also have, maybe let's assume it's her stretch marks. So we would then go, you can feel the needle. This is like 12 needles on the skin. It's very, honestly, once you've numbed the skin, it's not that
It's not that painful,
It's when you have not numbed the skin that it become very painful, So you do it, and that's why go to an expert. It's good to honestly do your research before you just, because you could end up messing up your skin, But honestly, at the moment, microneedling is one of the best treatment to increase collagen, to smoothen skin, to remove scars, and I'm not talking about the scar you had a car accident, and now you have a scar. Let's be, sometimes we go on TV, we talk about things, and then people come and they're like, you said you can remove these scars.
This one is not.
We're talking of minor scars, not major scars.
Especially those ones you have on your face, you have the acne, like you say.
Yes. So this, there's different kind of needles. So you have to do it for like about, it depends with where we treat it, right? We call them passes. So you have to do like 3 passes, So to make sure that I am getting it light, so I go all direction, And this one that I'm using right now is not punching hole. Let me show you. We change difference. See, what I was doing, if you notice, that is flat. It wasn't punching nails. I know none of you noticed that. But I was first removing the top layer of that skin. So that now, the next treatment I do is really doing what it's supposed to do. You get what I mean?
So we're getting to it.
But you see,
I want us to see that exactly.
Now, because the next one there will be blood comes out. So
I am curious, at this time of COVID-19, are people, still, coming for the processes? Are they scared?
Well, of course people are scared, and honest to God, we're trying. We're doing our very best to wear protective gear and to make sure we only work by appointment, so one person, you never find people in the waiting area. But that's why we're here, to talk to you, to also say, something like B12, how long did it take?
Pretty much quick.
You are in 2 minutes, you're gone.
You're
Microneedling, how long will it take? You are in and out, gone. You get what I mean?
Yes.
There are treatment you can do that will last you longer at home, so you're not having to come to us all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now I'm really doing needles.
Okay.
Now this one she's gonna, now you can see the needles. The other one did not have needles, yeah?
All right. So
now
there's some level of pain, yeah?
Now this one, they are gonna be level of pain, yeah? So these needles will be going, it will be punching
Why would someone have to go through
micro need? Because it is really, it's a very good treatment.
Ouch.
Trust me, I know. Sorry, Charity. You'll have. I just want you to see the blood is already.
I'm glad I wasn't the model
up,
of the day. You know, right?
So
this is the first question I asked.
Yeah.
So how soon does it heal?
See, already blood is coming,
Yes, blood is
and
coming
so
out.
now that blood. See what happened once we cause that injury. The skin will heal. Imagine, you won't believe this. The skin will heal within
Show it on the screen. Just
2 to 3 days. 2 to
within
3 days.
2 to 3 days.
Actually,
so, that means
so if you have hands that are showing age, this is the treatment. You know, where do you start showing your age, darling? Your
Is it
neck
not
and your hands.
and-
Yeah,
oh.
you can hide that you are young, but your neck is the first place that starts.
It will tell you, yes.
And your hands also.
Okay.
Now, this is a very good treatment. If your hands are starting to show age, I know, watch, you guys, it's going to go. Let me clean it so you can
I
see
can
it's
imagine
not
that
that
all over
bad.
my face. Why?
Watch.
Okay.
Nothing, look. See?
So
it's
you
not,
put
so what
straight
happened,
there or what?
What happened is it's like it will increase collagen.
Okay.
Like I said, you're damaging the skin so it can heal itself.
Yeah.
And in doing so, it will be tighter. So it's honestly, we call it non-invasive treatment of tightening the skin.
Okay.
So your skin will look lifted, tight, clear, no hyperpigmentation, no acne scar, no age spot, no liver spot. It's a very good treatment.
At what age do you start again? At 18?
At
That's a bit too
18 and
early?
about 18, you can do it for if you're treating acne. If you had acne and now you have open pores or enlarged pores. You know, enlarged pores, even if you try to put makeup, it doesn't sit in well.
Yeah.
So at 18, you can do it. But for aging, obviously, at age 30, you can start doing it for increasing collagen.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So can I do this and march into the office the next day or even?
Yes, you
Okay.
could. But if we're doing it aggressively, no. We normally advise you to take a week off.
A week off.
Why? Because the skin, if we're doing it aggressively, your skin will go through process. The first day, it will look sunburned. You will
Okay.
really look sunburned. It
Okay.
will look red. The second day, it will start drying up. The third day, you start peeling. The top layer of your skin will peel.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Right.
The fourth day, the skin starts rejuvenating itself.
Right.
The fifth, sixth day, you have this collagen, you have this youthful looking skin.
All right.
So we normally advise people, if you want it aggressive, take a week off.
Okay.
If you just want it mildly, if what we're treating, what are we targeting? 'Cause
Okay.
if we are targeting collagen, reducing collagen, we need then to go deeper.
Okay.
If we are removing scar, we need to go deeper, you know. But if we're just doing a beauty sort of micro needling, you can go
Mild is
to work
okay.
the following day.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
means you do not do makeup or what?
Yeah, you don't do makeup for a week. Why? We let the skin breathe. We want the skin to breathe. You could do makeup, but I always say,
Avoid it
whenever
if you
you
can.
do this kind of treatment, avoid makeup for a couple of days. You're not gonna die. You need the skin to breathe. You need your pores to breathe,
Yeah.
and you will have a good skin.
How long would it take for one to realize the results?
Instant. Here's the funny thing. Immediately you've done microneedling, number one, your skin, like I said, it looks like it's sunburned, so it looks full already.
Okay.
Instant.
Yes.
Then after 1 week now, you will definitely, this is one treatment I honestly can say, if you don't see results, something is wrong. It actually have results, especially for anti-aging. You see result after 1 week.
You know, I'm curious. I didn't see you put anything in terms of, you know, say, like we had vitamin B or something, apart from the needles. Do they have anything that is medicinal or what?
No, remember the whole point of microneedling, how is it working? Yes, sometimes if you come to us and we charge you extra for adding, we can add things like glutathione on it when we're doing the treatment. Now for lightening the skin there, we can add, you know, like you saw me adding hyaluronic acid. We can add, we can push them to the skin. Now we're pushing them to the skin. But you can't really put active ingredient because now the skin is open, so you don't want to put anything that's burning there. The whole point is the needle is the one. You see those punches holes that we've punched?
Yes.
What will happen as they are healing, that is where the treatment is coming in. Because like we said, the top layer of the skin will peel off, number one. So if you have tan damage, once the skin peel off, that sun damage goes with it. You get what I mean? And at the same time, when the cell turnover is happening, your collagen level, as the skin is healing, your collagen level increases. So your skin looks firm. Collagen is the glue that holds us together, right? It holds our cells together.
So you don't get wrinkles, sagging skin and all that.
So as it is healing, your skin, it will look more tighter, more fuller, more smooth, more radiant.
A typical for the face, it will be like a facelift?
That's it. If you do 6 microneedling, scheduled every month, I swear, you will definitely, people will definitely ask you, what is it that you're doing? And I normally tell people this. We all go to gym, exercise, or we exercise at home. But how do we exercise our face? Very few people do it. We do have exercise that we show you how to do to exercise your face, but there are very few people that does it. That's the treatment that you come, we exercise your face for you.
I think I would love to have you another time. So how about we leave the next episode for exercises for your face?
Sure.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Can we promise someone?
I promise you, I will come and show people not only exercise so many things.
To you know, like literally do everything here. Because then they will know how reason to watch us.
That is it, and that's why I'm telling them also. If they go to my YouTube channel, I also have this. You know, because there's some people who. I do actually. I can. I show you things you can do at home. Yeah. Just find my channel, Paris Boothia. And find us on, you know, our website at timelessmedicalspakenya.com. We have a lot of information of things you can and things we can do for you at the clinic. But I'll be happy to come back again and even talk about other things.
All right. Well, courtesy of Morning Cafe, you can be rest assured you'll do that. Anything to do with the face, anything to do with looking good is one thing that I always want to share because I know how important it is, especially for us ladies. So how expensive is this process? Or maybe that is not something that we need to know.
Both
the B12 and also microneedling.
For what you get out of it, it's actually not B12. It's actually on, right now we're charging 1,500.
Yes.
So that's very cheap.
Okay.
1,500 Kenya shillings.
All right.
Microneedling, it is 6,000 right now, I think, but we charge 10,000. If you're going to do it with glutathione and other things, so of course the prices can go up to 12,000 per session. But we also sell packages, so it becomes cheaper. Yeah.
Side effects of this?
Side effect of it, again, the side effect of it, there's nothing, we're not putting anything in your skin. It is needles doing its job. So the side effect is smooth skin, increased collagen, youthful skin, and all those good stuff.
All right, is this limited to a certain people? Like you said, pregnant women would not be advised to go through this.
Yeah, it's always good to do. That's why don't just go to anybody. I mean, do consultation first so that we can tell you whether you have any, we call them contraindications, because not everybody is a candidate. It's, you have to come to us, we do consultation, and then we know whether you are candidate, But most people can do it.
Aftercare.
Very good question.
Yes.
Oh my God. Aftercare, number one, you cannot sunbathe after you've done microneedling for at least 1 week. Going to dialysis. So meaning you can come and do this and go to Mombasa tomorrow. We're not going to do it. If you see, that's why consultation is important. Now, if you come, I'm taking a holiday tomorrow to Mombasa, I'm like, hey, go to Mombasa. When you finish your holiday, come back and I'll do it. So that's that. You must use sunscreen after, because that go to waste if you do not protect the skin. No exercising at least for 24 hours because you don't want to sweat. You don't want to sweat the area that you did the treatment. So for 24 hours, it takes about 8 hours for the skin to completely heal, or if you're not completely, but at least 50. So we say, please, 24 hours, do not exercise. Just take it easy. Drink a lot of water. The more hydrated the skin is, the quicker the healing.
I am curious again. You'd love to have this, like an even skin right from top. Honestly, if that is the case, you want to have your hands, your face, and everything looking the same and looking all glowy. Would you really go through all that?
No, you're not going to do micro for your whole body. This is now where we do other treatment. Remember, we do microdermabrasion, we do laser treatment. Now we combine. We call it combined therapy. Now when you come to us now, we will be telling you, maybe for the face we're going to do micro needling, but for your thighs where you have cellulite and all that, we're going to do body contouring. We mix it.
Paris makes it look like it is a very interesting session. But again, I agree. I mean, sometimes it's very good for as long as you are going to look good at the end of it all.
The thing is, nothing come out of nothing. I always say this to people. There's no free lunch. If it's free, somebody paid. Just get it there and say, oh my God, today we're having free lunch. No. Somebody paid for it. So there is a price to pay for a clear skin. There's a price to pay for fit body. You gotta exercise, you gotta watch what you eat, right? So that is the little price you're paying to age gracefully, because let's face it, my love, do we really need to walk about being lit in our age here?
No.
Not anymore.
Definitely
Those
not.
days are gone.
Gone.
So if you can help your skin by just doing a few things like this, that's why we're here, to educate you and to tell you, actually, we call them lunchtime or break time treatment, because really you're in and out within half an hour to an hour, and you go back to work.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's night, what time, and everything. You can always do the micro needling, and you can as well do the B12.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's where we get to close it up. What would be home? Message to the people as we close it again?
My message to the people as we close is like, if you have any of these skin issues, please don't suffer in silence. It's always good. Go see your doctor. Go see the dermatologist that is near you. Come see us at Timeless Medical Spa in our clinic. Go seek help, because help is there. There's some people who just sit there and just say, I'm doomed. This is my life. This is me. This is my condition. They claim it. This is my condition. Acne, man, you're not supposed to live with acne. It can be treated. You're not supposed to live with enlarged pores. They can be treated. Take that step to go seek help. Come see us and we'll be happy to help you.
Thank you, Charity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was good also. And I'm sure you've picked some great lessons. Take advantage of this. I think I will almost immediately. So do it, as early as possible. And then you'll end up saving yourself all these, issues of self-esteem just because you think you do not look good over time. But, most of the people tend to overlook that. And then when the damage is done is when you're out here struggling to fix it. How about you fix it before it gets to that point? Paris Mudia, medical esthetician. It's always a tongue twister to say that one. And lastly, Charity Kinyanjui, who's a nurse. It was good having you this morning. And I hope I get my job right after this. Bye-bye.